Isn't he a Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American
Daddy's home.
Test, test, test. All you see is black, but you should be hearing my voice. Do not be afraid, because in the darkness there is the light, but the darkness perceive it not. One, if you could, yep, all right, folks, we're here. I am the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for the patience, and appreciate you tuning in. Yes, we do have a show at 12. What? I thought it was at 4. My apologies. I made the team look silly announcing my show at 4. But you guys got the notifications on your phone and all that, right? You guys got the notifications. You guys will be rolling in, and I'll take the hit for those that missed it. You guys will have to catch the replay. That won't happen again. You know, I'm thinking, there's all this work I'm going to do. You know what? I'll just do one of these evening streams, and I'll do my work on stream. But that's not a show. That's just no substitute for a show. Plus, we have the men's forum today and all that. Badly played. But we're here today. We got a good show. I'm excited to do it. Oh, we got a nice show, actually. We got an actual show, actually. Bill, we have an actual show. Dang. Bill's not too impressed, but we're going to give him till the end of the show. He's laughing. We're going to talk about this debate a little bit here. Fascinating moments, and it all ties together. Topsy-turvy, snakes and ladders, with so many things happening right now. We're going to get into all of it and your calls. I saw someone call it in. You can call back. Yes, you can close the door. You can call in 888-775-3773. If you want to jump on the air and talk to your host, the Anchor Baby, I'm live in multiple places. dlive.tv/Gorgonzola. That's rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Jules Verne 23 over there says, "Oh goodness, not the debate. I didn't watch it for a reason." Don't worry, we're not going to go through the whole thing here. That's why I got you on some of the key moments. Right? Debate or circus? What's up, Jefe? And you can support, of course, on YouTube. If you haven't liked or shared the stream, you know, give it a like if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't. Call in 888-775-3773. You know, the 4th GOP debate was yesterday. You know that. You know that by now. And it was political firebrands, ladies leading the show, asking the hard questions, laying down the law. And it was how debates go, I guess. They say, even the ladies at the Skim, I think, I don't know, but they're saying that they're all runner-ups to the name that matters. Donald Trump, you know this. Trump really the winner of every debate, if you're paying attention at all. They're talking about him. They're talking around him. They're talking with him. I'm against him. RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel said in a statement announcing Wednesday's participants, "The 4th debate is another fantastic opportunity for our Republican candidates to share our winning agenda with the American people." Is that cap? Is that cap, as they say? Is that cap, I hear, as those people, some people call it. Rami Salami told fat body Chris Crispy to take a lunch break. I wouldn't say such things, Bobby Blanco. I think I've turned a leaf after watching the Hake Report, who's live every day, Monday through Friday, consistently at 9 a.m. Absolutely fantastic. Beautiful. You gotta love it. I've turned a leaf, you know. I can't bring myself to call Ron DeSantis Meatball Ron. I wouldn't dare repeat such things. There's, in fact, a lot of things I wouldn't call him. Disanctimonious. Chris Christie, like I wouldn't call him Chris Crispy. These are all things I wouldn't repeat and say. I definitely don't want people to be saying them and repeating them. But yes, Meatball Ron, things I just wouldn't call him. So I think I turned a whole new leaf. What other names should I not call these people? You know, for posterity's sake, not for being rude. Don't be ridiculous. It's for posterity's sake. Christy Fetterman, 2024, says Flat Earth Victory in my YouTube chat. All right. Not looking good. All right. Talking about the debate. The ladies, the RNC chairwoman, telling us this is a demonstration of our winning agenda. I don't know about winning, but that's how it went down. And I want to go through some of these moments. Why not? Let's just jump on in. Nimrod Haley. See, that's a name I wouldn't go around saying, Carver. See, I watched the Hake Report, and I've seen the folly of my ways. Krispy Kremes and meatballs? Wow, that is ridiculous. You won't catch me repeating Krispy Kremes and meatballs. Not a name you call people. Okay. GOP debate. Why not? Let's just jump in. We got some amazing moments out of the debate. So let's stop dilly-dallying, huh? And I want to get into some of these moments here and get to the woman problem. Chris Christie defended Nikki Haley in an amazing moment. Wow, Hefe, you got to calm down with that. Porky the pig? That's bad. Who are you saying that about? Not that it meant. No. I'm not gonna encourage or justify such language. Okay, we got the debate. Let's get into it. This first part I picked out, they're talking about being bought and paid for, okay? We're gonna need Lil Nick for this one. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we're talking about these people, and they're talking about being bought and paid for. Who are you? Where does your allegiance lie? To your donors, to the people? There have been accusations thrown about in the past few debates, especially by the fiery Sun Wukong. Is that racist? Vivek Ramaswamy. Let's see what they're talking about here, huh?
By debate number 3, you called Nikki Haley corrupt, accused Ron DeSantis of wearing high heels, and told Ambassador Haley she should keep a closer eye on her daughter. Can you see how this has led some to conclude you are not, in fact, a unifier, and to question your authenticity?
Megan, I think there's a time and place for everything. We need somebody in the White House who absolutely is going to be a fighter when it counts. And I did say that there were some good people on that stage in that third debate. Doug Burgum was on that stage at that time, and I'll say that jokingly. Ron DeSantis is a good person, too. I want to go back, though, to Nikki Haley's comment from earlier that she is somehow not responding to the will of these donors. Nikki, you were bankrupt when you left the UN. After you left the UN, you became a military contractor. You actually started joining service on the board of Boeing, whose back you scratched for a very long time, and then gave 4 multinational speeches like Hillary Clinton is, and now you're a multimillionaire. That math does not add up. It adds up to the fact that you are corrupt. And when I said they were bought and paid for, I meant the Republican establishment, not the Democratic establishment. Now you have Reid Hoffman, the person who's effectively George Soros Jr., funding lawsuits across this country against Donald Trump to keep him off the ballot, funding left-wing causes. We discovered this week that he is one of Nikki Haley's largest supporters. Larry Fink, the king of the woke industrial complex, the ESG movement, the CEO of BlackRock, the most powerful company in the world, now supporting Nikki Haley. And to say that doesn't affect her is false, because it's after that meeting later that day that she says that every American needs to be doxxed by having their ID, their government-issued ID, tied to what they say on the internet. So I think that this is far more corrupt than I even imagined when I entered politics. But I will say this. It is going to take a leader from the outside with fresh legs.
Outsiders.
From the next generation to unite this country. not the broken politicians who are puppets of the puppet masters.
You know, it goes on like this for a little bit there, but yes, insiders fighting for insiders. It's got to stop. But her response, Nikki Haley's response to this is basically, why you player hating? You're just jealous. You're just jelly. You want the money. Why you player hating? I don't know if Ramaswamy's like, he's like a tech guy. No, Ramaswamy, he's like made in some sense, right? He's got money, I think. Bought and paid for. I mean, for me, it's a matter of record, okay? Because she responds here saying, well, you're player hating. Well, you just wish you had the you know, I say what I say, and the some support me and some don't. And it's like, well, how you're going to get into the weeds debating that. But it's a matter of record here. For me, Nikki Haley represents that same winning strategy, that winning agenda that Ronna McDaniel's talking about. And that's kind of the deeper thing here. I think most voting people, they're not into all this stuff. I mean, I'm not. Maybe I'm just projecting. Getting into the weeds here. For me, it's a matter of record. You know what I mean? Player hating, why you want the money, Vivek? But anyways, not that interesting of a moment. But it's I just wanted to say it because of Ronna McDaniel and their winning agenda. We don't need to get lost in the weeds with that mess. What should we do next? I want to do a couple here before we get to the white knights and the best parts. The best parts. They're saying they're saying stuff about some sort of replacement theory. You may have seen this already, but we're going to get into it. Scrubbing along this video. Oh, yes. Fantastic. Here it is. No. In fact, this is what we're doing first. We're doing Chris Christie. Check this out. Look. So it gets heated. It gets heated.
Ever put Ukraine.
And they're talking about foreign policy, Ukraine, and what we should be doing with all that, okay? That comes up a lot in this moment here as well. Check it out.
In Russia, and then trust Putin not to have a relationship with China. Let me tell you something. That's no
That's
reasonable.
not my deal. That's not my deal,
yes,
Chris.
it's exactly what you said. You do this at every debate.
I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you. Okay? You say this. You do this at every debate. You go out on the stump and you say something. All of us see it on video. We confront you out on the debate stage. You say you didn't say it, and then you back away. And I want to say
what I said, Chris.
I'm not done yet.
Well, this is
now look.
This is nonsense. This man is spewing.
Fight. Oh, this is a distinguished debate.
The fourth debate that you would be voted in the first 20 minutes as the most obnoxious blowhard in America. So
name calling.
I'm gonna respond to that.
No, this is fine. This is fine. No big.
I'll take that.
I want to say something else. We're
something
now
else.
25 minutes into this
It's something
debate,
else.
and he has insulted Nikki Haley's basic intelligence.
Oh, no.
Not her positions, her basic intelligence.
Oh, no, he's not doing it.
She doesn't know regions. She wouldn't be able to find something on a map that
he's
his
doing it.
3-year-old could find. Look, if you want to disagree on issues, that's fine. And Nikki and I disagree on some issues.
Oh, no.
But I'll tell you this. I've known her for 12 years, which is longer than he's even started to vote in a Republican primary.
Oh, no. He's doing it. He's really doing it.
We disagree about some issues, and we disagree about who should be president of the United States. What we don't disagree on is this is a smart, accomplished woman, and you should stop insulting her.
So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take several times over. So first of all, I think we just
What the? He really did it. He really did it. He really done did it. He really done did it. At the GOP. Thank you, Lil Nick. At the GOP fourth presidential debate, who will be president? We are fighting, duking it out. Insiders fighting for insiders. And did he defend anyone else like that? Did he defend it? Is there anywhere where that ever would happen? This dynamic where you're basically duking it out. And it's not even, it is for the best betterment of the country. You're supposed to be all Republicans, I get it. But you're still competing for the best to do the job, a very important one. Is there anywhere, can you name me another dynamic between groups, peoples, religions, anybody, where we're at the pinnacle of competition? I'm using words maybe intellectually here, but you're following me. at something so important that someone would basically, not saying that Chris Christie had like this amazing chance, okay? Let's take Trump out of the picture here, and this is actually a really even fight here. And you just hand it over. You just hand it over. You may not see it like that, but all you could ever be after that is Nikki Haley's defender, Nikki Haley's second, Nikki Haley's white knight. Where in the whole entire world, between any groups, peoples, anything, can you name me a dynamic where someone would give something up so, maybe important, other than here, a man towards a woman? I don't. You see what I'm saying here? Like, only women can do this. So worshipped the way they are. I mean, she seems to be tough this whole time, but she doesn't need your defense. But hey, it's a little way of getting points, saying he's a woman hater. We're not woman haters. I sure am not a woman hater, because I'm not going to be a woman hater out here, Nikki Haley. But it's like also handing the victory. And nowhere else would that ever happen between any other, group, identity. No, it's only, anyways. White knighting here. Incredible moment, I think. Incredible moment here. Saying he has a woman, he says later he has a woman problem. We'll get to that. But what did I want to say about this? Was there anything else here?
From Chris Christie. We learned three things. We learned three things right there. First of all, Chris Christie also doesn't know what provinces in eastern Ukraine he actually wants us to fight for. Chris, your version
yes, they get into foreign policy a little. I'll let this one run because they were duking it out about, well, you want to send Americans to fight over there. Can you even name me provinces from Ukraine, eastern Ukraine?
Foreign policy experience was closing a bridge from New Jersey to New York. Yeah. So do everybody a favor, just walk yourself off that stage, enjoy a nice meal, and get the hell out of this race. When it comes to Nikki, I think if you're going to actually send your sons and daughters to go die in somebody else's war, you better, excuse me, Chris, I'm speaking, and I'm not done yet.
I haven't heard the time when you aren't
and we're going to be
speaking.
done. So listen up to this. Is if these people want to send your
I like the thrill.
daughters to go die in Ukraine,
I'm speaking.
They've been arguing for it for a year. $200 billion of our taxpayer money sent over. Neither of them could even name for you the provinces that they actually want to protect. And this is the people who have been touting their so-called foreign policy experience. It is intellectual fraud.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he goes on, like, you get the gist on that whole thing. Ukraine foreign policy, more of the same establishment, war-loving hawks who just keep the wheels greased and all those kinds of things. Okay, you following? Oh, man, but where were we? Chris Christie there. Defending Nikki Haley. And it's almost should be embarrassing, too. Like, Nikki Haley should, I don't know, maybe if I was Haley, maybe I'd strike him down even further. I don't need your help, or something like that. And you misogynists think I'm a strong woman, I don't need, and then kick him while he's down, huh? If I was going to do a little political move there, burn that bridge, go hard. But anyways, I'm not advising Nikki Haley's campaign here. Oh, man. But anyways. A woman problem. She's a really smart lady. I don't know why I'm doing a Jamal Bowman for Chris Christie, but anytime I see him speak, I just want to do a really exaggerated Jamal Bowman. You remember Jamal Bowman? He's like, what is he, like, his representative? Jamal Bowman, he was yelling at that guy about the data. You don't know about the data. About guns? Jamal Anthony Bowman. Representative for New York's 16th congressional district. You're not talking about the data. That's how I hear Chris. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just judging. I'm kind of a judge. I'm judging. You know, I don't know when this happened. I have no clue when this happened. Just a total tangent, total aside. I don't know when this happened. This might have been a while ago, but Jamal Bowman's kind of a master at these duking it out in a man on the street here. You know, here he is versus Marjorie Taylor Greene, just duking it out here.
Come on now, Save the party. Save America. Save the children. Do something about guns.
Do something about guns.
Invest in education. The border is what Trump left it. What are we talking about?
Where are the migrant
What
children?
kids?
You guys
We're accepting them. We love them. We love the migrant children. Why we lost them?
You can't find them.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah, migrant children missing.
No, we don't know the news. I don't know. That's Fox News. That's Fox News. Listen, I need you to save the party.
He laughed her out. I don't know. He won. I mean, these people are evil, so he could be feigning ignorance. Oh, what are you talking about? But hey, the public, they're silly people, easily swayed. And Jamal Bowman's kind of a master at this communist man on the street propaganda, laughing her off. I don't know. She's just also just, you know, when you got a loudmouth, kind of tough loudmouth, like you got to be unshaken. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene there, you know, may have been a little bit out of her depth. I agree. Use name. Marjorie out of her depth a little bit, taking on a bigger behemoth than she was. She didn't really know what she was coming up against. You're not looking at the data. Honestly, this was all a big old ploy to just do my Jamal Bowman voice.
Is if these people want to send.
That's enough of this part, though. Here's the last part, okay? Then we'll move on. I'll just tell you the rest. I mean, let's get to Vivek White replacement theory and the universities. They asked him about the universities, and kind of what I was talking about yesterday should be a nice segue into something else. Harvard and other university presidents, all women, imagine, leading the leaders of those, running the show at the universities, taken to a congressional hearing about anti-Semitism in their schools. The whole thing culminates, happens alongside this anti-Semitism bill that was passed. Fascinating stuff. Let's get to that part, huh? Let's get to some good stuff. But other things that they were saying, just other things they were talking about. You know, they played Trump clips. Imagine that too, huh? They were playing clips of Trump and reacting. They were doing reacts to Trump. They should just play a Trump clip and just shut the whole thing down. Like, oh man, this is the guy. This is ridiculous. We're being ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Everybody wants him. We're just fighting him. We're just fighting the people in him. This is silly what we're doing. So let's just stop. They talked about the border. You know what's amazing? When they were talking about the border, they all repeated this ridiculous lie that Trump did nothing. Oh, they all agree with Trump and they agree with the policies and immigration. It's wrong. And they said all the right things. But they all repeated this, except Vivek, to be fair. They all repeated this horrible lie, this horrible media lie. They said he did nothing. Nothing? Well, that's just an absolute lie. Whatever you think about that situation. And they all said the right things about illegal immigration. We got to stop it. We got to stop it. But Vivek was the only one saying what Trump has been saying. Just to be fair here, he went farther. He said, yeah, but what about the ones here? It's time to get them out. Big deportations incoming. I know. Tough stuff. But that's how it goes. Okay, last part here. Great replacement theory. This horrible conspiracy theory, obviously. You know about this conspiracy theory that we read about on Wikipedia. White genocide replacement theory and whatnot. Makes an appearance at the debate. Let's watch.
I promised Ron DeSantis a minute and not a full minute.
I've got
a second.
It is not about offending.
You can weigh in and then we're moving on.
It's about pointing out, do you want to elect somebody who will be older than Biden was when he went in 2021? I don't think it is not.
Wait. I got my time stamp wrong.
Licking Donald Trump's boots.
Oh, yeah. No, this was good, though.
Here's my issue with all
I already said this, though. He says, like, oh, you're licking Donald Trump's boots. That's how you got here. And now it's a big old ego thing. You guys are all against him.
Trump's boots. Never been one without actually begging Donald Trump begging them for COVID money for
begging
quarterbacking some decision he made.
We're going to skip a little here. Thank you. Just hold on.
Then vote for somebody who's going to speak the truth to you. Why am I the only person on the stage, at least, who can say that January 6th now does look like it was an inside job? that the government lied to us for 20 years about Saudi Arabia's involvement in 9/11. That the Great Replacement theory is not some grand right-wing conspiracy theory, but a basic statement of the Democratic Party's platform. That the 2020 election was indeed stolen by big tech. That the 2016 election, the one that Trump won for sure, was also one that was stolen from him by the national security establishment. That actually put out
okay, stop him. Someone stop him. They're like clearing their throat. Okay. And me too. You know what? Me too. I'm clearing my throat here. Vivek, I disavow.
I am the only person on the stage who can
say
these things. That's what it's going to take, not people who are licking his boots one time.
That'll do it. That'll do it, Vivek. Ridiculous, huh? But hey, talking about amazing things here. The conversation's changed, don't you think? We can at least say that. White replacement theory. Now, whatever you might think about people talking about that, white replacement theories and conspiracies, there remains facts. There remains the fact of the low birth rates and the open hatred of whites. I don't know if you can't see it. You have to be ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. You have to be not paying attention, I guess, to not see it. But we could talk about it. 888-775-3773. But mainstream, let's go. Ron looks so uncomfortable in those lifts, CSS Element says. He just kind of always stands uncomfortably. I relate. Just like, am I standing weird? Am I standing weird? But maybe he's way too in his head. When I'm not paying attention, I'm all like, although it gets hot in here, maybe it's like a. Anyways, Nick about to be banned. Vivek is saying this crap. How can we know what happened with those elections? We never got to investigate it, so we don't even know. Anyways, when they talked about the border, blah, 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 Chris, the woman problem. I mean, I already talked about this part, but amazing. I mean, anything else to say about this? He gets all mad, and even after the debate, he goes on and on about Vivek having a woman problem. Straight up woman problem. I'm like, you don't? You don't have a woman problem, Chris Christie? You don't believe in the woman problem? Wait, you don't? And we love women. This goes without saying, but maybe sometimes people are confused. Maybe sometimes people just tune in. We love all people, or at least we know we're wrong for not doing that. Sometimes we may not. Sometimes you don't even know. Sometimes you think, I love all people. I'm a Christian. I love all people. And we can have patience with those people as well, or with ourselves. That being said, though, this show's not about hating, okay? It's about loving all people, or at least understanding that if you don't, you're straight up evil. I'm telling you, you know it's true. Anyways. But yeah, you don't have a woman problem? Anyways. you have a woman problem. Okay. They're talking about the universities here in this last moment before we move on from this whole thing. Because it's over. And it's not that interesting, let's be real. It's not that interesting. There's some interesting parts, but these are all runner-ups. Sorry.
Our college campuses, starting with you, Ambassador Haley. House Republicans yesterday hauled elite university presidents up to Capitol Hill to answer for the displays of anti-Semitism on college campuses. These leaders, including the president of Harvard, were asked whether calling for the genocide of the Jews would violate school policies against harassment and intimidation. All of them said it would depend on the context, including whether that speech veers into conduct. How do you think these schools and the rest of society should balance the imperative of free speech against the need to prevent radical activists from harassing and intimidating others?
It was disgusting to see what happened. You know, if this had been the KKK that was doing protests on those campuses, every one of those college presidents would have been up in arms. This is just as bad. The idea that they would go and allow that kind of pro-Hamas protest or agree with the genocide of Jews and try and say that they needed context on that, there is no context to that. This is what we need to do to deal with it. First of all, we have got to get foreign money out of our universities. You've got Arab money, you've got Chinese money, you've got others. We need to go to every university and say, you either take foreign money or you take American money, but the days of taking both are over. The second thing we need to do...
You could choose foreign, though?
The second thing we need to do is Biden made a mistake not including anti-Zionism in the definition of anti-Semitism. If you don't think that Israel has a right to exist, that is anti-Semitic. We will change the definition so that every government, every school has to acknowledge the definition for what it is. The third thing is we really do need to ban TikTok once and for all. And let me tell you why. For every 30 minutes that someone watches TikTok, every day,
this
they
part's
become
amazing.
17% more anti-Semitic, more pro-Hamas based on doing that. We now
Oh, man, I got to stop. There's just too much to talk about already. Should have stopped it earlier, but basically, if you don't know, if you haven't been following, you know, there's a freaking war over there. You know about that. Israel and Hamas. Israel, Palestine. And a lot has happened since, I guess. The point is, it came to a head at the universities with students protesting and donors, very wealthy donors of these schools. One in particular, Bill Ackman. But I've heard reports of other similar notions of other wealthy people wanting to take out their financial backing of these schools because they disagree with the whole thing, that they are basically allowing protests where people are saying what they call genocidal language. They're calling for intifadas. They're saying from the river to the sea, which means to eradicate Israel, right? If you follow this statement to its logical conclusion, I guess. And I mean, so that's the whole thing, right? And you got the wealthy donors saying, okay, no more. In fact, one of them, Bill Ackman, saying an amazing conclusion. And to one president, female president, Dr. Claudine Gay of Harvard, in his letter to her, he basically admonishes them for their rhetoric against white people, and he gives them basically a whataboutism on the whole thing, and with an, I guess you could call an amazing realization. Because it's something that's been happening, right? And yeah, sure, I condemn, if you ask me, do you condemn whatever? Do you condemn these presidents? Like I can see their, what you would call maybe a double standard. I wonder if their tune would change if this were black students being targeted, and threats and targeting should be dealt with. That should be happening at a school. That doesn't fall under open debate and free speech. It's like full on threats and all that. Well, that's one thing, right? But the whole conversation lacks any sensible, courageous, if you want to call it, someone who sticks to the truth, voices talking about it, okay? It's ignoring the hate of some and focusing on the hate of some. It's just all wrong and upside down. This whole conversation, I mean, it's like all these students, for example, the Palestinians, obviously out there saying whatever, from the river to the sea. It's not like all of those students mean genocide. I mean, they may all be angry. We've seen that. We've seen the effects of anger, especially when in groups and activated by triggers in the media, people, evil things happening. 2020, BLM riots. We've seen the effects of angry crowds. It's not this innocent little thing, okay? Oh, free speech. But that being said, you'd have to be not paying attention to not notice, I guess, the double standard with suddenly loving free speech, as opposed to when white people were being openly hated on campus, etc. So I just can't get with it. It's hard to get with it. These pro-Hamas people and all that, but just like they were talking about, where were they when all this was happening in the white schools? I mean, to white people, because it's like been happening. So that's what's going on with that. Where was I? Yeah, she's saying 17% anti-Semitic. I want to see the studies on that. So basically, in 2 hours, in 2 hours, in practically 2 hours, I could be 100% more anti-Semitic just for being on TikTok for a mere 2 hours. A whole 100% more anti-Semitic. Is that the numbers? If I crunch the numbers, is that what I'm supposed to understand here, Nikki Haley? Because I've crunched the numbers. My team has crunched the numbers, and you're practically 2.5 hours, maybe 100% more. They started off this segment with the, announcer lady, question person, saying Israel was wrong about that recent news that came out that they knew they had at least indication that Hamas would attack, and they did nothing. An amazing way to start the segment there. She's like, the Israelis were wrong. Anyways. It just lacks, you see what I'm saying? It lacks, I guess, nuance. I almost don't want to say that word for some reason. I have a bad view of that word for some reason. But it lacks any kind of nuance of someone just real understanding, manly understanding. No, it's like focusing on anger of some, calling things anti-Semitic. She's saying, change the definition. Now, it gets freaky when the whole thing is supposed to be, okay, you're saying that you hate these people. And it's tantamount to wanting them dead. Genocidal language, right? Saying anti-Semitic things. You're an anti-Semitic person. It's tantamount to that. And to change that definition, it reminds me of what I was talking about yesterday. Thomas Massey, he shared a meme, which essentially the meaning of the meme was, in his opinion, American Congress would shy away at the notion of American patriotism, but get excited at the idea of Zionism, right? And these are U.S. politicians. Schumer called that anti-Semitic. So he hates them. He hates them? That's just so wrong. It's just this is a wrong use of language. I just can't go along with that. It just doesn't make sense. And if let's say you're someone so into all this Zionism stuff. Like you asked me, why wouldn't I want the Jews to have a home? But then that's my position, honestly. Like I want nationalism for all. Of course, that when you get down to business, it's different in every case, right? A war happened here, and to get this land and to make this happen, Israel is no different. And there's a lot of anger over that stuff. So I get it that saying that isn't as simple, okay? When the rubber meets the road over there. I get it. But hey, that's just how I feel about it. Now, there's a lot of people I know who keep telling me so many things about Israel and that they're so wrong, Nakba, all this. Now, following Nikki Haley, those are decent people I know, and those aren't, I wouldn't call them, they may have anger and stuff, but I wouldn't call them Jew hater. And I don't know, it's just wrong things to call these people that I know. And they would be anti-Semitic under that definition when they simply they read a bunch of Wikipedia articles and have taken a side in something. And I don't blame them. Look, what I mean by don't blame them, it's like, I'm just not trying to say that it's wrong to read Wikipedia articles. I'm just saying they read all this stuff and they're all knowledgeable. And when you read all this knowledge, you feel like you have a mastery over it and you make a conclusion. The point is, they would be anti-Semitic for that. And I just disagree. That's just not American. That's not right. That doesn't make sense to me. That just does not make sense. Can't go along with that. Not American. Nope. Not right. It's not right. It's not right. 100% more anti-Semitic. I'm 200% more anti. And this is to go further beyond. Anyways, anything else to say about these people? Oh, yeah, well, I was basically telling you this. They're talking about the universities here because the saga continues on this episode of Bill Ackman versus Claudine Gay. I was telling you about the universities yesterday. And I see your calls. I will get to you. 888-775-3773. So let's see if there's anything left in this clip, and then we can segue into Bill Ackman.
50% of adults 18 to 25 think that Hamas was warranted in what they did with Israel. That's a problem.
No, I think that's everything from this. So we thank the thank Ronna McDaniel for putting on the 4th GOP presidential debate. Moving on, though, they brought up the university presidents here. Bill Ackman, the same guy I was telling you about, okay? Wealthy guy, donates, blah, blah, blah. This guy donates. He's a donor. Saying he was the one who led this call to for these presidents to resign after their disgusting comments for refusing to condemn students and their genocidal language, right? Well, if you watch the whole thing, they dance around certain things. They basically dance around free speech, kind of like gray area, like unless the speech turns into actual harassment and violence, then we'll do something about it. Since then, there's these calls to resign, threats for money to be pulled, etc. And Bill Ackman, it was Claudine Gay, Dr. Claudine Gay, who said, she came out with a bit of a clarification. Hey, I don't know if I would call it an apology. She really didn't take anything back. She was just saying, hey, she's just restating that they would deal with anybody harassing and genocidal language and all that. Anyways, this is the same guy, Bill Ackman, who basically acknowledged white racial hatred on these campuses for him to make a point as to why these people are allowing all this genocidal language. An amazing moment there, but in an even more amazing moment, the saga continues. Bill Ackman, he continues. Bill Ackman claims Harvard president Claudine Gay was only appointed because of DEI after her shameful refusal to denounce campus protests calling for Jewish genocide. So this guy went full. He's like, he's been radicalized. He's one step away from being a Nazi, as that guy on the Hake Report was saying, Van Jones or whatever. Now he's all like, you're only there because of affirmative action. You guys hate white people. It's like, wait a second. Whoa. All of a sudden, you're making a lot of sense to me. Don't feed what... Anyways. You see what I'm saying here? He's like, you're only there because of affirmative action, okay? The 57-year-old billionaire hedge funder has been heavily involved in the debate after expressing his views about Gay clearly on social media and calling for her resignation. Gay and the presidents of UPenn and MIT were eviscerated for telling Congress that calls for the genocide of Jews do not violate their codes of conduct, sparking a huge backlash. Yeah, well, that's how it goes, right? You made the group mad. You didn't defend them, so you made the group mad. Now, what else did I want to say about this? I just think that's hilarious. Bill Ackman, mask off, or I don't know what do you call this? Mask change. He's like, okay, I'm doing. I don't know if that's fair to even say. I'm not trying to say anything about him sincerely, but it's like, oh yeah, well, you're only there because of affirmative action, and you guys hate white people, and white replacement theory is real, actually, and you guys push it, so boom. Dang. Where did that come from? UPenn Board Trustees emergency meeting as President Elizabeth McGill faces calls to resign. You saw this one. She's the other one of the three who was at that congressional hearing. And they had her. She was smirking it up. Like, yeah, well, do you condemn genocidal language? I'm paraphrasing. She's like, yeah, well, if it's harassment and if it is, I'm dancing around it. And yeah. So you know about that. And that's how it goes. What else? What else to say about this? I think I can take a call here now. Frederick, Los Angeles, California. I got you on the air, sir. Let me unmute the calls here. And you're on. Appreciate it, sir.
Good afternoon, Nick. How's it going?
No complaints. All is well.
We talking about genocidal language or what?
Oh, none of that. Not on this show.
Yeah. I'm against genocidal language. You know that.
Yeah, that's not even a joke. I mean, like, what constitutes genocidal language? Huh? Because they're calling things, sometimes that's not always that. But yeah, of course, I'm against genocide. I don't want that happening.
Right. But who's to say when it's war, who's going to be genocided? Why come they just can't be refugees? Why does it always got to be genocide?
About who?
About them.
You mean Jews?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They can't just be...
And wiped out an extinction. It's an existential threat. It's, they're going to push us into the sea.
They can't just be...
That they're going to be wiped out.
Well,
they know,
where are they to go? That's their home.
Yeah, but we can isolate them better than that. In New York, they calling out these Jew business owners. And they blackball them, don't go to their restaurants, don't go to their coffee shops, make them spend their money with them. And they're not big enough as a group to maintain. So Hitler did this back in the day, and they're doing this again. This happened back in 1933.
He did what?
He did what? For Jews on a passport and then start blackballing them.
Wait, sorry, you said this happened before. What happened before?
The blackballing of Jewish businesses.
Who's doing the blackballing today?
The 17 to 25-year-olds watching TikTok.
Oh, and why do you say that?
They're becoming anti-Semitic.
Oh, that's the blackballing of the Jewish businesses?
Yeah, this is the awakening happening.
Oh.
Oh, you sound really lost. Like you don't know. Like
no. I'm having trouble following your conversation. You tend to jump around, so I'm trying to make it clear for myself and my viewers.
You're talking about the genocidal talk, and they don't want to blackball, and they
on that
people.
Totally blackballing, and they're becoming anti-Semitic on TikTok. We'll talk about that. Genocidal language. Forgot what I was going to say about that.
I hear a lot of black genocidal language. Don't help the blacks, and they are more a minority than the Jews are. So I mean,
and what's black genocidal language?
Genocidal language when it comes to the blacks.
What's black genocidal language?
Black genocidal language. What's wrong with the blacks? I want my country back.
That's genocidal language?
That's genocidal language too.
I'm glad I asked you about genocidal language because it's like, oh yeah, you condemn genocidal language, right, Nick? And I'm like, well, yeah, but like I was telling you guys earlier, words don't mean anything. So to Frederick, what's wrong with the blacks is genocidal language. I mean, if you wanted a demonstration of a, I don't know, a wrong mind.
They're hopping on board. Next gonna be the kosher tax. They're going to blackball the kosher tax. What's wrong with the Jews?
Why is that genocidal language? And you know what? I see what you're saying. Just to reiterate what you were saying earlier, you're saying, well, why is it always genocidal when you're up against the Jewish people? Why can't it just be, well, they're just losers or combatants in a war? Is that what you're saying? They can't
exactly.
What do you think about from the river to the sea? What does that mean?
They can't just live in a conquered land like every other war that gets conquered.
No, I see what you're saying. And groups, they're the best. No, they're the best at stumping for themselves. Is that fair to say?
This is our existence at
they're really good at it. You should be impressed. They're really good at defending their own.
I'm impressed with the American people waking up. And Vivek
To
and
what?
Haley,
Waking up to what?
they gonna wake up to what Trump's telling them, like they was doing out in South Carolina. You will not replace us. All that
Trump
white
was
man
telling them
victim
that?
guilt, all that white man victim. No, America don't believe in it. Like they want us to be like, what about the man bashing? Men don't cry victim. White men maybe they starting to, but really men don't cry victim.
Yeah,
But
they're starting
right
to.
Now, nobody should be God's people, and the age between 19 and 25 don't go for God's people, chosen people no more.
And why is that?
But Haley do, them old people do, but they the old versus the young. This is what is class wars now.
Why do you think the young people, you think the TikTok's getting to them? 17%, 30 minutes at a time?
It's the truth. Yes, the truth is getting to them that didn't get to Nikki Haley before the internet.
What
She
truth?
grew up with parents in a nice white household, and they was all Zionists, and they all understood what they was doing over in Israel and kept giving them money, and it was all fine. They whole
That's not the
life.
truth.
Yeah, that's what they've
That's
been
just
told.
political
Zionism,
stuff.
Every old people is with Israel.
That's
All
not the
young
truth,
people
though.
It's not. Yeah, I know they've been lied to. It's not. That's
No,
why
but
they're
you're talking
waking
about,
up.
they're finding the truth on TikTok, and I'm here waiting for you to tell me the truth,
Anti-Semitic.
and all you're talking about is shallow, Zionism and crap.
No, the Zionism is the lie the old people been told. The truth
That is quite
there's no
interesting, huh?
chosen
It's like it
people.
feels like a conversation about that whole thing has changed in a matter of months, less than a month. But you're saying that
are
they're
waking
finding the
up, is
truth
all I'm
there.
saying.
I'm
Our words are getting out
acknowledging
there.
that. You know, there's been a market change in public conversation and sentiments and many things that you're saying here. Absolutely. But you're saying they're finding the truth on TikTok. The young people are finding the truth. They're not finding the truth. That's not the truth. That's silly. That's silly.
On the news, they said there never was a Palestine. On
You're being
TikTok,
silly.
they just showed
You're
you in
silly.
books where they had Palestine and censuses.
You're silly, and you come out here acting like you're
No, have you
so.
heard them?
I want you to respond to this one, Frederick, because you come on my show and you're like, I'm so based and different and underground, and I'm a Mayat, and I know the truth that nobody's talking about. Not even these people. Look, nobody knows what I know. And then you come on,
none of that.
and then you come.
None of that.
Okay, maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'm putting maybe I'm putting words in your mouth. But okay, but let me wrongly insult you, and then you can this is all in good fun. But listen, Frederick, I know you're a good sport. It's all friendly here.
I know.
You're saying you come on my show, and then you come on my show and you say that genocidal language. What's wrong with the blacks is genocidal language. You're like CNN level. You're CNN level. The ladies at the skim level ideology, bro.
I don't know.
Do you know that about yourself?
Skin level mean? I don't understand.
You're like a lady, like the ladies at the skim. What's wrong with the blacks is genocidal language. You literally said that.
If the Jews are crying about that talk is genocidal language, it's the same.
Wait, what?
If one group of people don't like another group of people, and the Jews can cry about his genocidal language, why can't I cry about his genocide? It's the same thing.
That makes sense to you. You're like, okay, these people are being weak, because you basically are agreeing with me that it's wrong. But if they're allowed to do it, then I get to be weak at this. You're literally demonstrating what's wrong with.
You're not calling it out. Y'all doing the same thing on y'all show at Bond. Y'all
What am I doing?
Complain about the blacks, but y'all don't consider it genocidal language. And the people that complain about the Jews is doing the same thing, but y'all call it.
So then go call them and get mad at them. I'm the one. You're calling the wrong show, bro. Then you're calling the wrong show because I'm here saying that's ridiculous what they're calling anti-Semitic and all that.
No, I'm saying that people are waking up.
I must have misunderstood. I'll let you explain.
Of the truth. I don't know how you getting this. I don't know how.
Because you're saying you're saying that well, you're saying that it's a group. You're talking about the Jews. If they get to act like this with others, then you should be able to do it too, right?
No. I'm asking you, why do you let them lie to you and say Palestine never existed? There is no Palestine, and these people are these people, and then the TikTok come out and show you where there was a Palestine, where they do.
Who are you talking
lives
about?
are coming out. Huh?
Who are you talking about? Whose show are you calling? Whose show are you calling right now?
I'm calling Nick Stream, the Shifty Shift.
You're calling. Are you sure? Are you sure you're calling my show? Because you're saying you let the Israel lie to you. Well, let me. Would you like to hear my response? You're saying. Would you like to hear my response? You're saying. You're literally saying like something's wrong with you, man. You gotta stay with me here. You're literally saying, they're like, who are you even talking about? Like, as if I would be afraid to talk about this. Okay, how about I talk? Let me say it in plain English. You're saying, oh, you let Israel lie to you that Palestine never existed. Who are you talking about? When did I let Israel lie to me about that? Explain.
When you voted for Trump, the biggest Zionist that's been.
Oh my God. Okay, so you're like connecting all the dots in your head about Look, I'm not this. You're in your head. I'm way smarter than you think I am. Let me tell you that right now, sir. In your mind, I've connected all these dots and Israel and Trump, and it's all connected. I'm not that smart, man. I saw Trump and I like him.
For Trump?
That's it. Yes, of course I voted for Trump. But you've connected all these dots. I'm way smarter in your head, man. You think you're saying I let them. But no, I don't want to move to something else. We can't move to something else. We've just proved to the audience that you're not even in reality, Frederick.
Not for Israel. You don't believe all the lies,
you're not even living in reality, Frederick.
How can you vote for somebody?
You said you let Israel lie to you that Palestine has never existed. When have I ever said that? No. But let's stay in reality. Let's have a conversation. And why does that mean? Why does that mean something I said? Why does that mean? Why does that make your you let Israel? Let's do this one at a time, right? Frederick. One at a time, my friend. Come on.
He's your representative.
Don't get scared. You got this.
I'm talking plain as day, and you're losing the argument because you're voting for people to lift up Zionism.
All right, my turn. You went. My turn. Okay. My turn. Okay. How is anything that you just said prove your statement of you let Israel lie to you about Palestine?
Because of who you voting for.
You know that's a ridiculous statement, and that's amazing.
If you vote,
you're not clear, man. That's not even like a clear thing to talk about.
That do believe the lies.
I'm trying to demonstrate, folks,
how he's.
I'm trying to demonstrate.
That's a
say
simple
again.
Question.
Say again.
If you don't believe the lie, why vote for somebody that do believe the lie?
That is a really. So you're saying why? So if I can break down what you're saying here.
If you don't,
I'm going to answer your question, Frederick, but I need to understand your question. So you're basically saying. No, I'm about to hit you. Don't worry, Frederick.
You sound like DeSantis.
Hey, yuck it up. But hold on. Let me hit you. Are you asking me if because Trump somehow I don't know where this. I've never seen him say something so specific in particular about Israel making a claim that Palestine never existed. Okay, but fine. You're saying that Trump, I don't know, believes that. Okay. You're saying, are you then telling me that because I vote for him, I believe that?
Yeah. You're for one state.
Okay. Well, I don't think I need to respond to that, right? You see how ridiculous that is now?
No.
Okay. You don't see that an obscure statement that I may not even know of. Apparently, that another man believes something, but because I vote for him, I believe in every single thing that person has ever said.
If he's the deep state and you vote for the deep state,
and you think that's important. On top of that, you think that's important with America and voting in 2024.
I don't care who you vote for. I really don't. You're like a immigrant anyway, so American people know what's going on in America. They waking up, and that's why I called you about the TikTok and Nikki Haley wanting to get rid of it to make America more Zionist. It's not going to happen. The more you're trying to hide stuff from the American people, the more they know about the bull BS.
But what is the hiding? This is what we're trying to demonstrate here. It's like I'm talking to a crazy person, Frederick. What is the hiding? You're talking about someone else. You're saying, all this Jew stuff that I'm not you're just like connecting stuff here.
You walk on eggshells because you don't want to get banned and took down, and you got to limit what you say.
There are things you're not allowed to say on YouTube, and I follow their rules.
We can't. I know we can't have the conversation that needs to be had on their.
About what? I'm having all the conversations I need to have.
How?
I am. I'm talking about the real stuff every day on my show.
Do you believe?
I talk about the real stuff. You want to talk about shallow stuff, like youth, teenagers finding the apparent truth that you think is the truth on TikTok. Like, they saw an edit that shows them that actually Palestine has always existed. Big deal.
More than that, Nick.
Big deal.
Don't just grab onto that one morsel. Don't be stupid and just try to act like it's just about Palestine. Y'all been lied to a lot about the beginning of time and the whole Bible's sake. They've becoming anti-Christian and anti-Semitic.
Thanks for not making sense, Frederick. 14 minutes of not making a single point and not making any sense.
Yeah, I'm sure it don't.
Hey, let me know when you call the correct show. And tell me if you had a nice conversation when you call the right show.
Nick, but you don't pick a side. But I mean, you pick a side, but you
just
act
blathering
like
now, man. What do you mean?
Blacks,
be specific.
You're for the Jews.
All right,
you're
Frederick.
against the blacks, you're for the Jews, and
I'm for the what?
On it and you don't like it.
Say again. What'd you say about me?
It's cool. You're against the blacks, for the Jews, and I call you out and you don't like it.
All right, man. I don't know where you're getting that from. You haven't proven that. You're just stuff you just keep saying. I'm against the blacks, for the Jews. This guy says, and he hasn't offered a single thing about that. Man, thank you for making no sense for 15 minutes, Frederick. I gotta move on, sir. No more. Nah, that's it, man.
All right.
Last thing, sir. Last thing before we.
Can you bring a 5-year-old to the men's forum?
Oh, I think so, but we recommend that. I think younger than 12, we recommend against it because sometimes it can be pretty personal and pretty adult themes, but people have done it. People have done it despite the warning, and they're aware of it, and they have done it. So I'm not going to tell you no. 5 seems a little young.
Right. It's just going to be me.
Right on, sir.
Talking more. He's not going to put his input in.
All right. Well, just so you know, it could be adult themes, and we do recommend that young. We do recommend against it, I think, usually, but people have done it. So.
Okay. I appreciate you, Nick.
No problem, man. Hey, call me again.
All right, yep. Later.
I'm just not as smart as he thinks. Like, so you know about, because you support Trump, that means the Zionist part, and you know about Palestine. Look, I have not made all those connections. Okay, I have not made all those. Okay, I don't understand what's even the controversy. What am I lying about, Flat Earth Victory? Because you say I'm lying, so then you must know what I'm lying about, because I don't, and I'd like to know. I will answer your question. Flat Earth Victory. Blames blacks, absolves Jews. When did I absolve Jews? That's Bond. Oh, just because it's Bond, I guess? Blames blacks, absolves Jews. When did I do that? I think I get it. I think I know what it is. It's if I don't sound like, if I don't go hard enough on Israel or hard enough on, then I'm something, I don't know. His truth. This is the part. Nick is telling his truth. We're not even. I don't know if you guys are not following here, but we had just had a 15-minute conversation about nothing. He was saying different things, and I was saying different things. We're not even talking to each other. Do you guys realize that? His truth. There was no truth in those 15 minutes, Carlota. There was nothing said. We didn't get to anything. Nick knows what he's doing. Why can't you tell me what you know what I'm doing? You know what's... Yeah, man, that's a good point. Freddie will always just choose the anti-white side of everything. He sees Jews as whiter than Arabs. I mean, there's nothing unclear about that. Frederick, you've made that very clear on my show. Or did you since apologize about that, right? You apologized? I forget. I forget the saga because I remember him apologizing and saying, because I made some claim that Frederick delights in the low birth rates and the decline of white people, and gloats that they will have different masters. I think he's since apologized about that and does not mean that. And then I think I don't know. I think that veneer, I think, may have quickly fallen. But I can't. I'm not following. I can't follow the saga that deeply. Let me get the real Mr. Mad on the air. Thank you, sir. How you been?
What's up, Nick? Sorry, I had you on speaker for a second there.
Hey, what's up?
What's the word?
No, we still like Fred, Ivana. We still like Fred. Sorry, what were you saying?
We love Freddie. I love Freddie. That's a homeboy. Rica's a homeboy. But and let me put this in, like, I don't know, terms that he may understand. It's kind of like when you go to prison or something, and you're all against the guards no matter what. Even though the guards are just trying to, make a wage, live their life, but you're always against them because you just see the evil of them because you're the one who got locked up in the first place, allegedly, right? For your own doing. You know what I'm trying to say? So no matter what, they can do no good in your eyes because at all times they're the enemy. They're the ones that are doing everything that your whole situation is based on exactly what just happened, And that's what I see with Rica. He always does. It's like it's tit for tat. It's just he wants to, he wants his payback, essentially. It's not about right or wrong or what's really going on. It's just they got away with this. They did this to me. They caught me doing this. I'm in jail now. Now the guards got to pay because they're on the side of what's good or whatever,
Mr. Mad, I bet you I don't even think I'd be exaggerating when saying that is the basis of, I don't know, everything. This
it's tribalism.
Grievances, grievances that we're born into. People are born into these grievances. They adopt the grievances of their parents, and you keep the whole thing going. The whole anger, the whole hate, blame, victimhood.
Generational tribalism. This has been going on. They always say to bring up the natives and all. But they were doing this for millennia. As a result, because one guy killed somebody, and then now this tribe's going to feud with this next tribe for the next 1,000, 2,000 years because they got us, we got them back, they got us for getting them back, and it just goes back and forth. It's the same thing over and over and over again. But that's the whole point. You got to let go of all of that. The point is to not dwell upon this nonsense, whatever. Like, all right, something happened in Palestine, I guess, they denied it, whatever. And that doesn't mean that just because you support somebody who supports something like that, that doesn't mean that you support exactly what they support.
Just because you support someone that supports what?
Something that they may support that you may not even be aware of.
Right, in general, right?
Like think of I don't know, grammar school or something. Maybe somebody's voting for class president. And they want to do something, less homework for everybody. Let's just take tests to see where we're really at. We don't need 8 hours of homework every single week or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you may be on board with that because you go, well, I know the subject. I don't need to prove my math every single time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you vote for this based off of that. But they also believe that, I don't know, the teachers have to pay extra for lunch or you may need to pay less for lunch or something like that. You don't know those politics, or even if you do, it's irrelevant to the issues that you're aligned with. You want to just not do as much homework because you know the subject, and why should you be hung up on your busy work just to show that you know what you're doing?
Well, ridiculous. It's sincerely ignorant, but also the vagueness is from the vagueness of the whole topic. I mean, I'm trying to bring some clarity here. I'm still having trouble here, but basically, if I can summarize. I guess people saying there's this whole Israel-Palestine, the whole Israel thing is way bigger and deeper than we all even understand. Okay, and it's deep in the government and all these things. Okay, but where was can we get to something real instead of talking around in vague terms like you supporting Zionism? It's like no,
right.
Trump is, I support Trump because he's clearly America first. The whole Zionism stuff is so secondary to me. Right. Whether he believes Palestine should exist or not, is so nothing to me. I don't even know how to have a conversation about it. It's the
truth because
If we want to talk about real things like Thomas Massey, Chuck Schumer, they're saying they put a bill calling things anti-Semitic that I personally don't think are anti-Semitic. But it's like, Zionism and blaming, and do you feel the confusion in the air? Yes, because that's all of us. Anyways.
I mean, there's certain issues that you and I, align with. For sure, absolutely. That's the reason why we would have voted Trump. Freedom of speech, let's say the Second Amendment rights, things like that. Even though Trump, I could even say this. All right, let's say even with the Second Amendment thing, he banned the bump stocks because, some outrageous thing happened, right? That doesn't mean that now all of a sudden I hate Trump.
Yeah, I remember that. I forgot what people said about that. That was like an overreaction.
Exactly.
I think people were saying.
He fed into the overreaction. Just like he probably feeds into the whole Zionism thing. It's not like he's calculated with that. Like, he's not sitting there thinking like, man, I can't wait for the Jews to have their own state only and Palestinians are going to be slaves forever.
Right. If anything,
is he doing that?
If anything, say your question again. My bad.
No, I'm saying, is he really doing that? Do you think
that's no, I don't see that. He seems to be. If he ever says anything about it, it's not that deep. So why would I want anybody who's that into the whole topic that he knows what Israel said about Palestine in this date and if they said they should exist? I'd rather someone who's just like, okay, a boomer, like, oh, yeah, I mean, sure, I love the Jews. I don't know what to tell you.
If that's even the thing, because is it? Do we know first? Has he said that? Has he came out and said, you know what, Palestine shouldn't deserve to exist?
No, I've never seen anything like that. I mean,
right.
So, absolute silliness.
Because, and same thing with the bump stocks. Okay, yeah, a bunch of people died because that allegedly the guy from Mandalay Bay or whatever,
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
50 people in Vegas, right, with a bump stock. I mean, he could have did it with an illegal $15,000 fully automatic.
You could do that. You could do that with your finger without a bump stock if you hold the gun just right. Bump firing.
He put his thumb in a belt loop and he
boom.
Did the same exact thing.
And hey, ATF in the chat, don't be alarmed. Okay.
Yeah.
We're just talking about we play video games. Okay, we're just a bunch of gamers here. Okay, we don't know. We're just playing games. But anyways, yeah, it's simply a firing technique. Bump firing. You could do that with any gun and rifle if you hold it just right.
I mean, you could do it freehand if you really wanted.
The
belt loop trick, that's whatever. But you could do it freehand if you're really good at it or whatever. But that doesn't mean just because you know that or you own a bump stock that you condone that 50 people need to get massacred or whatever something allegedly.
I mean, just for me, the question for me it's I don't know. I just keep it simple. Like, someone will ask me, well, what do you think about Trump and the bump stock? Do you think he's against the Second Amendment? Well, it's like, okay, do I like the bump stock thing? In retrospect, I never had to have an opinion about something like that, but it's pretty clear. I don't think I like it. But then the second part of the question, is he against the Second Amendment? I'm sorry, I just can't say that about Trump. Nick, but don't you know that he let his daughter marry a Jew and he loves Israel? It's like, okay, sure, those may be true things. He may be way too into that stuff. But if the question is then, the question to is Trump America first is, I'm sorry, a resounding yes, a million %. And that's the question that matters to me.
And even the bump stock thing, stock thing, in accordance with the Second Amendment, this is directly correlating to this whole Israel thing and why you're voting for Trump versus, what he believes, in, I don't know, Israel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because, all right, he's first. I think they said that he carries. He's got a 45 on him at all times or something like that, right? So he obviously believes in the Second Amendment. So he may think that, making something, a little attachment that can, make it easier, I guess, without training or I don't know, whatever, to mow down a bunch of people. Maybe that's not a good thing. And it was sensationalized and he was maybe partially outraged by it because people told him to be, So he made a quick appeasement of that situation over it. But does that mean that he hates the Second Amendment? He hates America? Hell no. Sorry, cousin. But
right on, Mr. Man. I gotta say, I agree. For me, I try and keep it simple, and I think for me when it comes to those questions, it's I don't even doubt that he's about America. He's about the Constitution. He's about all those things.
So it's the same thing with America. does this mean that just because, I don't know, maybe he got, let's say, even suckered into believing in whatever Rika's talking about. Let's say that's its own issue and that's a real thing or whatever. Let's just pretend that that's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody just briefs them on it and goes, yeah, man, we got to have this ethno state for just the Jews and the Palestinians can go kick rocks. And he's like, whatever, I don't know. I don't know anything about this. So, yeah, sure, whatever. Does that mean that that's what he really, really supports and that we all support it in, by proxy? No, right?
Yeah, well, not saying that that's not important when, voting or whatever, but it comes down to what are we talking about here? Are we talking about secondary, tertiary questions, or are we talking about the real stuff?
And that's what we should be talking about, the real stuff. Who we support is what's and why we support the people that we support. It's not for those reasons, because those aren't their key points or bullet points or whatever you want to call them. They never run on these issues. Like you said, he's connecting the dots where they don't belong. He's just saying, well, this is what he's into.
Maybe if I was sorry, I'll cut you off.
No, I just said, is he? We don't know. What is, let's say Biden, what is he into then? Does he want to eradicate the Jews? Is he pro-Palestine? Has he said it? What do we know about it?
About Putin?
Regarding that position.
Putin, you said?
No, Biden.
Oh, Biden. Sorry, my bad. No, I'm pretty sure Biden he's with pretty, I'd call it like the establishment, what should I call it? The regime philosophy here is to try and keep relations between the races as gel it as much as possible, but at the same time condemn whites for political power. And that's kind of the MO. And it's demonstrated when this whole conflict, kicked off. The White House's response was to condemn anti-Semitism, but also Islamophobia. So that's kind of like the regime strategy here. What their best interest is to keep the races as much as they could. There is acceptable levels of crime and rioting and all that, absolutely. But keep the races as close as possible, but also against the whites. Sorry, go ahead.
Here's my point with this: that whole anti-Semitism law type of stuff. That's the bump stock of the Second Amendment for the First Amendment. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got outraged, and then now this regime is saying, well, these bump stocks should be banned. And then this, regime, I guess, whatever, says, yeah, you're right, we should ban these bump stocks. But the bump stocks are the anti-Semitism, like words or, you can't say certain things.
Right.
So do they really back this? Do they know the ramifications of backing that or, what it does to the First Amendment to begin with? Or are they just doing it to appease everybody because they're saying a few people that are really loud about it are complaining about it?
Right, which would be its own evil, but I see the point you're making. It could be not what things may be not what they seem. Absolutely, 100%.
So, at that point, do we say, hey, Biden is pro-Palestinian, 100% he hates the Jews? Or do we see that, wait a minute, he's sending money to Israel all the time too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what path do we walk here? If he's pro-Palestine and the Jews are the worst, why are we sending money to them, right? From their perspective. But then at the same time, he wants to, shut it down and you can't speak about him, you can't do anything like that
right.
also. So it's a double-edged sword regardless. But nobody calls that out, right? Nobody says, oh, well, you voted for Biden, so that means you're anti.
Oh, yeah.
You see
That's a good point. Yeah. That's a good point, man. Absolutely, actually. So that
I don't know.
just keep a guiding light. It's about America first. Right on, sir.
I mean, that's the way I see it. When we vote, for me personally, I voted for Trump because I saw that, yes, damn the rest of the world and their politics. We want to focus here because we're hurting here. We don't. Why do we need to send aid to everybody and all this other stuff? Yeah,
right.
I get it. We're sending it to Israel as well. But at the same time, we don't need to be a unified world government, with all this DEI and all this other, included paper clipped onto stuff.
Yeah, big time.
And that's really what's going on. You know, they use these types of things to paperclip in other little things that
insiders fighting for insiders.
Right.
We're going to get him out. Get him out. Day one. Dictator, day one with Trump. He said he's going to be a dictator for that first day.
That's fine.
I say keep it going, sir.
I'm sorry?
I say dictator just for one day. Come on, we need more. All right.
We may need a whole week, because what he didn't do the first time, which was, he said clear the swamp out. He helped make awareness of the swamp so that the rest of us could see it and go like, wow, these, people really are corrupt. Like, why is Nancy Pelosi making billions or millions after visiting the Taiwan chip factories? What do they know? What does she know?
That's got to be such a red flag. I mean, it really is, and it's been like that for a while. It's just an enriching machine.
And he was aware of it.
The people be damned.
Right, and he was aware of it, and their justification for doing this was like, well, these guys are taking tax breaks because they want to do research and development and write that off. But this is how the American economy grows: research and development. Doesn't matter if we're outsourcing our product from somewhere else. We still pay American citizens to work here, and they're going to pay into the tax system, and they're going to stimulate the economy naturally by buying things that are cheap. Sure, if they come in from somewhere else, they're still going to be cheap, but they're still buying things.
Right, they still live in. Man, what a mess.
Meanwhile, now nobody can afford anything, and they're not buying anything. They're just paying BlackRock for rent, I guess.
You'll own nothing.
And eating bugs.
Well, right on, Mr. Man. Appreciate your call.
Yes, sir.
Last thing you want to say before we move the wheels here?
Shout out to Sion because she shot me out yesterday. So
hey, right on.
I got to pay it back. Shout out to Sion.
Some OGs in the chat. Thank you, Mr. Mad.
OGs, yes, sir.
Call me again.
All right.
Right on. And I do got to thank here, Matthew with the super chat says, don't disavow the truth, Nick. Maybe for your channel, but it's the truth. Right on, Matthew. Thank you for that. DJ 2020, thank you. You guys rock over there on Rumble. My supporters. Fleet of SIG drones and AI bots for the top of the social cast. It's about to get stupid. What are you talking about, DJ 2020? You seen some of this drone warfare technology? I mean, we've seen it with Ukraine and even a little bit with Israel. This drones being the latest in war technology, but just wait. I mean, these things, you got to imagine a fleet of these drones that can fly and make maneuvers in the air that you can't even follow with your eyes to such speeds. Fitted with like a ball bearing or cluster munitions or whatever stuff I was reading. Like, there's just no beating that. It's over. You got an autistic. You get Bill. I'm talking to Bill, folks. If I'm not looking off, you get an autistic Redditor gamer who plays nothing but top-down RTS and resource management, is just like total autist about that. And you give him control of like 60 drones. It's over. Oh, you see these ads, these Russian ads, and it's tough guy, big muscular tough guy, and they're laughing at our woke ads and all that. But I think the battlefield is going to be dominated by the drone, not by by muscle and sinew. But anyways, I don't know. I'm just messing around, just talking about random crap. The heck do I know? We were just talking about disavowing the truth and many things. I had my callers. Let's get back to the show here. What was I doing? I think I had another topic for all you fine people. Oh, right. That was my supporter over there in Rumble, DJ 2020. Scary stuff. DJ 2020. Do you like the fact AI bots will win the war and you peasants can't have any? I don't know. We'll be able to 3D print them, right? Guerrilla warfare? 3D print our drones? Another wicked agency that shouldn't exist. Oh, yes, the ATF. What What about Trump's approval of shakedown stop and search Terry versus Ohio? Completely unconstitutional. What do you mean, DJ 2020? I don't know about this. Trump's approval of, so basically, he approved like stop and search. I thought we liked stop and search, huh? Thought we like stop and search. We like stop and search. We like stop and search, don't we? Amazing. I'm just reading my chat here. What's up, chat? What's up, Triple T? TTT. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff here. Okay, what are we doing next? Speaking of all this violence, how about something silly? How about something a little fun? GTA cringe. GTA Grand Theft Auto. I talked about this earlier this week. What, maybe yesterday? You know about Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto. The 6th installment. Major game coming out 2025. They're saying, you've seen the twerking lady on the cars and the beach and the crocodile and it's like real life. Rockstar Entertainment. Rockstar Video Games. The pinnacle of gaming. Making yet another virtual world where you can ignore your real one. You don't need that real life anyways. You got GTA 6. It's okay. You have GTA. No, you don't have to go outside. Okay, enough. Why are the Zionists at Rockstar Games releasing this sexualized video game for children in America? Ban GTA 6. Get it trending right now. I'm reading a fiery X.com post by Jackson Hinkle. I don't know anything about this guy, except that I've seen him like totally pop off on X.com recently. On Twitter, on X, he's been popping off lately. And I just know because he's all over my feeds. I don't think I ever followed him. But this guy's account just grew like crazy with all his reporting on, well, I'm going to use the word reporting loosely here with this Jackson Hinkle guy. He's all his reporting on Israel, Hamas, Israel, Palestine. And he's put out a bunch of, his feed is, it's kind of like it's like kind of like shocking. It's like, look at this dead baby. You see these Zionists, they want dead babies. And it's kind of like that. And I'm sure a lot of that's real, but a whole bunch of them have been like proven fake. And he'll just like repost this stuff. It seems sloppy to me. So for me to say, though, I have nothing against Jackson Hinkle, I know nothing about him. But I mean, it seems a little sloppy here if we're going to use the word reporting. But okay, this guy's joking, right? Hey, it's very likely this is completely satire. This is completely a joke, and I'm here talking about it like a fool. But if his previous reporting, fits the bill here a little bit, then, I don't know. Then it could very well be real. But look, he's saying the Zionists are releasing this sexualized video game. He's joking, right? I'm the fool here talking about obvious satire, right? But are there people they actually feel like this? I mean, sure, we got issues, sexualized video games, but I don't think that's where the front is. That's not where the front of the war is. You know what I mean? The front is in ourselves. The front of degeneracy and the war against degeneracy and morality and all the sexualized advertisements and video games. The front is not with Rockstar Games. You guys know that, right? The front of the war is ourselves, within ourselves and our individual lives. Okay, you can't. You know what I'm saying here, guys, folks. It starts with us, but also this is just so silly. It's like Rockstar. Their whole thing is satire. Their whole thing is a satire. Maybe the irony, Maybe the irony here is that here I am commenting on obvious satire, maybe. But Rockstar, their whole thing is a satire of America. I saw someone say, and I like this guy on Twitter, Paul Scalas. He puts out the Lindy newsletter or whatever. He's the one who came up with the whole thing on stuck culture and refinement culture. I was talking about it with Bill the other day. It's kind of the reason why everything's so gray and lifeless, possibly. And, you know, he made a comment about GTA. It's like, this game could have been anywhere in the world, and they chose Miami? It's like stuck culture. It's like, you guys already did a game in Miami. But that's the whole thing about GTA. It's a satire of America. And they're kind of the best to do it, if you ask me. They're kind of the best to do it. They're really the best to do it. They hit some pretty spicy satire stuff, yet they're maintain a huge audience. It's not... they're not really trying to rub people the wrong way. They're trying to make a good... Anyways, look, you guys get it. Why are the Zionists? I mean, come on, guys. Think for yourselves. You can't just be saying stuff. Zionism bad. Zionism bad. Zionism, anti-Zionism cool. Anti-Zionism cool. So degeneracy bad. A plus B equals yes. This is a good tweet. Anyways. Jackson Hinkle's probably a cool guy. I don't really know anything about him. I think he's a communist, like a straight up communist, like avowed. So maybe he's not that cool, but just like unabashed type communist type person. Andrew Tate disavows GTA 6. Don't you be doing it. Don't you be doing it. They're getting mad at Tate for saying this. What? The top G? You know, a lot of young people watch this guy. And I don't have a problem with the top G here. The top G.
Have you ever played any GTA? This is a genuine question. I've never played any of them.
I believe that I played the first one.
You believe? You played that stuff. Come on, stop saying you believe. You played that one.
That's like a top-down, bird's-eye view kind of 2D game without any real graphic violence back when I was maybe 10 or 11 or 12, whenever it came out. I do recall that. But you know what? I'm going to speak about GTA 6 while you're on the topic, because now we're actually talking about something that's relatively important. Video games aren't necessarily evil. But, you know, I remember...
What? This is the wrong clip. I don't know what the heck I'm looking at here. I don't care. Thank you, Tristan and Andrew Tate. Wishing you well. Sorry. Look, I guess the top G doesn't like it. I didn't think Tristan would go on his take on gaming. I don't particularly care right now. I'm sure it's great. They say it's violent. Oh, it's so violent. Oh, it's so violent. Regular people know they're playing a video game, if you ask me. Parents, be parents. Go be parents. Maybe deal with your lives. Video games may be a waste of time, but people who play them know that they're playing a video game, okay? And if you don't, you shouldn't be playing them. Oh, it's so violent. That's the fun part. That's the best part of GTA. That's the whole point. That's the fun part. You better be watching. He better be dealing with Islam. Andrew Tate here. He said something interesting about Christians recently. I think I have the link here somewhere. Andrew Tate on Christians. Hold those who mock your faith accountable, he says. This comes from the inside and outside. Have standards. What does being a Christian mean if those who disobey the Bible are Christian? Do not let people use the idea of being a Christian in vain. If everyone is a Christian, then nobody is. Where is the sacrifice? Where is the work? He says, Christians, find the power of Christ and defend yourselves before you are decimated. This is a response to an earlier tweet of his. As a Muslim, I have enormous respect for Christians. And I state this from a position of kindness. The universe has always ensured that the weak are conquered. Every weak nation, weak race, weak faith. Stop complaining about Islam and look in the mirror. If you do not stick up for yourselves, if you do not hold the proponents of your faith accountable for degrading, if you allow yourselves to be constantly mocked, you will be crushed and replaced by Islam. I genuinely encourage Christians to stick up for themselves. Islam is not your enemy. Weaknesses. This goes to my point here. My point here about Tate and others going Muslim. It really, and Sneeko and stuff. it really is an overreaction to the weakness of Christians, the very true weakness of Christians, but it's an overreaction. And they chose to go quite unchristian about it with their conclusion. Tate's not wrong here, that Christians got to look at themselves. It's really only the vacuum they've left behind that's allowed Islam and everything else to take its place. That's really the truest bedrock point about that, I think. You will be crushed and replaced. I mean, it's happening. And I don't think he's insincere with his genuine encouragement of Christians to stick up for themselves. But here's the thing, an interesting thing that gets brought up here. I don't disagree with what he's saying, but also I think here it's being demonstrated maybe a particular difference between Christianity and everything else and anything not Christian, worldly. Being offended. You know, he says, if we don't stick up for ourselves, allow this constant mocking, then Christianity will be taken over. But like I said, I don't disagree with the spirit here, Andrew, but I kind of want to maybe point out something here. A possible difference between the two faiths, between anything really not Christian. I don't think that's what, if you think about it, Christians are all the way that offended. They're everything. They're totally offended type people. You can't, you know what I mean? They may be weak, they may not wield any kind of power politically or other against people in groups and media, etc., for their mocking. But they're right along with everybody else going blah, 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 like you can't. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're going to hell. Anyways. And if you ask me, that's what's made them as weak as the world. Because Christians are supposed to be different. They're supposed to be different, and it's by that they demonstrate their strength, I guess, to the world. And by example, that others then want to then become curious. It's markedly different from Islam in the world. That doesn't mean just, I don't know, get walked all over or have no borders because Jesus would be liberal or something like that. Doesn't mean all that. But I think that's the being offended is what's made them weak. They're supposed to be different to show the world how they're not affected by the world, that they would be allowed to be constantly mocked, but yet remain strong. And I don't know what exactly that would look like. Because being openly mocked the way they are now and the way they act now, that's not strength. But specifically because when I examine Christians, because in reality they're no different from the world, because when that mocking happens, they react just like everybody else. And they may not necessarily, like I said, wield any sort of strength or group strength out in the streets or anything, but the spirit is the same. They stay there. You're supposed to kind of show them how you're different, how you can be constantly mocked, but yet you can't be crushed. And you still would stick up for yourself, and everything would be in its right time, in the right way. So it's just a little nitpicking maybe on Andrew Tate. I appreciate what he's saying here about encouraging the Christians here. But you can't be Muslim about it. Look, I don't want to be like, look at the Muslims. They got their issues too. They overreacted to women. They maybe were on the right track, but they overreacted. And they got issues. They're like all people. So I don't know if it's about picking and choosing like, okay, well, I like how these people don't have these issues. Well, you just adopt different ones. Anyways, which I guess as even further, what I'm trying to say here is that is another unchristian thing that the world does, that Christians happily adopt. Just a little thing I'm thinking about. Andrew Tate, right on, man. The top G. What else about this? Is there anything else to say about this? Beautiful. Anyways. How about we do shallow? How about we do the tabloids? Let's do shallow stuff in the last few minutes of the show. Shallow stuff. I mean, by now you know who the person of the year, Times Person of the Year. By now you already know. Taylor Swift. Firebrand. Firebrand conservative. No, wait. That doesn't fit for this one. Firebrand. Lady. I don't know. Person of the Year. Time Magazine's Person of the Year. You already know this. Taylor Swift. Swifties. I mean, an accomplished individual, right? An accomplished American. Kudos to that. What can be said here that hasn't been said, right? Vapid. Oh, you'd pick this person to be Times Person of the Year, and a woman or a vapid, whatever. Do we really care about what Time has to say about people? After they named one such Adolf, after they named him Time Person of the Year, as far as I'm concerned, once I heard that one, their credibility was shot. And that was quite a while ago. So do we really care about Times Person of the Year? Okay. Yeah, that happened. Taylor Swift, though. This might matter a little bit, though, because they say the future is female. And what does Taylor Swift do with all her at her new height, over there in her cloud of being the Person of the Year, up there at Mount Olympus, looking down on the planet? What does she do with her reach and platform and all the way up there? What does she do? What is step one on the docket? What is first on the agenda? Well, it's a cat fight, obviously. It's bitch fits. Yeah. Fits. Okay, she brings back some bad blood, some drama from back in the day. She's talking about Kim Kardashian. Yes, we're doing this, okay? We're getting into it. Tabloid. Okay, the ladies are fighting, and your anchor baby host is watching it and interested, just like Jersey Shore or something. Okay, yuck it up, but you're here. Kim Kardashian is actually a good wife? Wait, hold the phone. Kim Kardashian was actually a good wife? Possibly. You may not know or remember Kim Kardashian, who was married to Kanye West, and one of the very most famous of what should we call it? American history, recent popular culture. One of the most legendary moments. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce, you know about this moment. Kanye West at some award show, I forget. The Grammys? What was it? Taylor Swift was basically about to receive an award, and Kanye West jumped on stage and said, no, well, I'm going to let you finish, but someone else deserves that award. And so anyways, Taylor Swift makes a big old stink about this whole thing. Bringing it up, saying, well, Kim Kardashian still hasn't apologized. She's reportedly yet to apologize to Taylor Swift for the scandal in which the former leaked a phone call of the latter talking to Kanye West. The singer, 33, who's been named Time Magazine's Person of the Year, has been locked in a dispute with the couple since Kim's then-husband Kanye wrote a 2016 song to include vulgar lyrics about Taylor. It was like a controversy when the song Famous came out, Famous by Kanye West. And it has a vulgar lyric. And the whole saga was interesting because Taylor, it's like offensive, but then Kim Kardashian comes out saying, no, you approved this in a and then leaked this phone call that that Kanye West had with Taylor Swift about this lyric of this song, where Kanye West basically tells her the whole lyric, and she agrees to it, and she says it's fine. And she still hasn't apologized. I mean, I'm just telling you this because look how silly this is. This woman, 33, Person of the Year, and what does she do? She brings up stupid drama. But what's really kind of pernicious about it is she brings up drama there's video proof of this. You could go watch it, and this whole thing was said and done with back then. So what is this all about, really? I can't really tell you. I don't have any theories here, other than this is what women do with power. No one woman can have all that power. It's ridiculous, okay? And it's drama and stupid. But it's kind of interesting because it brings up this whole saga again from way back then. And that call and the whole thing it's drama, but it's thrilling. It's interesting. I'll play it for you here in a second. We're going to get the real story here, the real scoop. But what the heck, Taylor Swift? Like, calm down. This is what you do with power. Power tripping. Can you let this... I'm sorry, but you got cooked when this happened. If I remember, you got cooked. They released the phone call, and I'm sorry, you didn't look good. If you remember. Bitter feuds. That's what we're looking forward to, bitter feuds. It's a bitter feuds with the ladies. Can we just enjoy the song and move on? Why are you bringing this up, huh? But Taylor Swift is an arm of the woke left. Is that fair to say? I mean, she agrees with all that stuff. Anyways, oh yes, this is why I wanted to tell you too, because of the language she uses. This is also why it's quite evil. Taylor Swift talking about this, which happened already back then. What does she say she suffered from? Psychological torture. What does she say? It took her down psychologically. And we allow this. This is why this is pernicious, is we allow this as a legitimate mode of thinking. Like, this is at all legitimate. You say you're a tough woman and you're a leading industry leader and all this, but a person can take you down psychologically to a place I've never been before, like as if that was that person's fault. And we allow this type of language. Kanye West took me down psychologically to a place I've never been before. I moved to a foreign country, didn't leave a rental house for a year. I mean, look, this is, let's say you hear that and you say, wow. And now you realize that you were wrong for allowing that, right? And that was inside of you, right? And that's what you learned. But no, we let this language slide. And what is this language? This is hate and blame and victimhood. This is some of the worst things you could say about yourself and your life, to blame. Some of the worst things you could do. And to let women just go along and with this blaming language is a disservice to them, and a disservice to future generations, and a disservice to anything good. She's saying psychologically, they took my career, she says further on, and all this flowery language when she's fine. The point here is we can't let this what amounts to terrorism, this language of terrorism. Oh, psychologically tormented. Like, this is all going on in your head, okay, lady? And then they tell you, well, that's why we got to censor this and ban this type of language, and that's bullying, and you can't do this. Because we let this crap slide. Why? Because she's Person of the Year? I don't care. That's hate, blame, and victimhood, and I won't allow it. Kanye West didn't do that to you. That's your own problem. And you didn't look good. You got cooked in the comments, gangy. You got cooked. And, well, let's watch some of this video here. Because, okay, maybe you'll say, well, she didn't know her phone call was being recorded. But I really don't think anything bad happened. Kanye West was very gracious. He was very businessman-like and was very, he kept dancing around it and saying, well, I swear we really tried to work it out, and we swear. But he eventually does tell her the line and doesn't hold back, and she totally agrees. I don't know, Taylor Swift, you got cooked.
Yeah,
there might be a swear or two here. My apologies. So Kanye West calling Taylor Swift before the release of his song Famous, where it has a controversial lyric about her.
Oh, I'm doing bullshit. Yeah. I'm doing great. I feel so awesome about the music. The album is coming out that February 12th, that morning. It's like, yeah.
I'm just skipping a little bit, sorry.
Thank you so much.
Okay, he's about to go speakerphone.
You know, like, yeah. Like, so my next single, I wanted you to tweet it. It's a Good Friday. We're dropping as a Good Friday.
Okay, sorry. Hold on. It's right here.
Of the song.
He puts her on
you.
speaker.
What does it say?
Okay, right here.
Line at the beginning. Well,
I think it has something to do with it, probably.
Well, the reason why it will be happening is because it has a very controversial line at the beginning of the song about you.
What does it say?
Okay, so it says, and the song is so dope, and I've literally sat with my wife,
trying to soften the blow,
with my whole management team, with everything, and try to rework this line. I've thought about this line for 8 months. I've had this line, and I tried to rework it every which way. And the original way that I thought about it is the best way, but it's the most controversial way. So it's gonna go Eminem a little bit. So can you brace yourself for a second?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It says, wait a second, you sound sad.
Well, is it gonna be mean?
No, I don't think it's mean.
Okay, then let me hear it.
Okay. It says, and the funny thing is, when I first played it, and my wife,
he's still editorializing,
heard it, she was like,
my wife loved it, I swear.
What? That's too crazy, blah, blah, blah. And then like when Ninja from 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 heard kind of thing. And now it's like my wife's favorite fucking line.
Oops.
It says,
I was trying to skip past that F word.
South Side niggas that know me best, I feel like Taylor Swift might owe me sex.
That's not mean.
That's not mean.
Yeah. Oh, well, this is
as they go on a little bit. And she doesn't hold back. She's like, that's not mean, and that's fine. I love rap. I think it's hilarious. I mean, I'm sorry, Taylor Swift. There's video proof of this already. I don't know why you want to use your new power here to start wars. I don't know why that's your first. I mean, it doesn't even look good. I mean, it's not even like based in reality. What a buildup. I know, Ivana, this guy's a businessman. He knows what he's doing. That's a smart way of presenting that. It makes you think it's way worse than you think. So that was a pretty funny way of presenting it. And so Kim Kardashian actually was a good wife, at least for a little bit, at least somewhat. She was basically loyal on his side. No, I'm not apologizing. Yeah, I'm going to release that video. All this mess we've been talking about Kim Kardashian. And you know what? At one point, they loved each other, didn't they? At one point, she was bound, you know? She was all about the family. Kardashian. Being a West. Oh, well. I wish that family well. Wish those kids and all that, whatever. You know, one of the youngest, one of his daughters is all about her dad. I forget her name. Northwest, maybe? I keep seeing videos of her. And she's pretty much a daddy's girl. Even all that division, divorce, or whatever couldn't stop her from being a daddy's girl. Isn't that cool? Steve Strzok, what's up, man? Yeah, I made that famous. Yep. Anyways, what a mess. That's the show, folks. American Anchor Baby today. That's it for me. We got more show tomorrow, but tomorrow we got a flight. Don't miss it. 4 p.m. Actually at 4 p.m. tomorrow. And we're going to keep this consistent, okay? Because Monday through Thursday it's at 12 and Fridays is at 4. And that's how it goes. Friday is tomorrow and we got a flight. Don't miss it. That's Nick Stream, Anchor Baby Airlines. We have fun. Set your clocks. Click the little notification bell so you don't miss it. 4 p.m. Nick Stream, Anchor Baby Airlines, right? Open Line Friday on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. And the Hake Report. Don't miss it. We got a nice show and the Fallen State. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. That's it from me, the Anchor Baby. I shall see y'all tomorrow. Bye.